Well, Dave, we're doing this interview a little earlier than we normally would in the week. Just tell us how preparations have been going so far.
Yeah, it's obviously an important weekend in terms of sometimes pivotal within the season, 2 games in a short space of time which you have to prepare for. But we know that it's a tough trip that we face, but a game that we're looking forward to and we go into in a good place.
Had a little bit of a change of scenery yesterday, of course, training in front of the season ticket holders at Edgeley Park. You and I spoke last week about the importance of togetherness at a football club, and I guess events like that are really beneficial in that regard.
Yeah, like I say, different, but really enjoyable. I suppose from a supporter, spectator aspect, gives them an insight of what we go through. I don't think there's anything sort of groundbreaking in terms of what it looks like, but especially for kids that are off school and can go and see and be close to the players in a probably a little bit more relaxed environment. They've got more space to go around, obviously, to get autographs and things like that and pictures. So, no, hopefully an enjoyable experience for them. From our perspective, like I say, great to be able to train on the pitch, because although we're fortunate to have brilliant facilities here, the pitch is unbelievable. Helped that it was a lovely sunny day, and like I say, hopefully everybody benefited from it.
Just going back to the last couple of games, I know you have always asked for players to show you rather than tell you that they deserve to be playing, and I know you told Connor Evans that he had those 2 games against Swindon and Salford that he was going to come in and play. Do you feel he's done enough to show that he can play a part between now and the end of the season?
Yeah, I think I always felt that would be the case. Listen, I don't think it'll change. I don't think it's going to be a thing with Connor where all of a sudden he, again, like I've said previously, really, because of his personality and how he is, it's always going to be a sort of bedding in process and a feeling out process. That'll certainly be enhanced and quickened by getting goals. And he obviously got his goal the other night, and hopefully that'll, like I said, do him the world of good. And it's, I suppose, especially at times like this with the games we've got coming up in quick succession, normally would be potentially a Saturday, Monday, but a Friday, Monday, that our squad's going to be really important in terms of being able to perform at the intensity will be required to hopefully get ourselves 6 points over this weekend. And I'm sure that he'll play not just a part in that, but a part in what we're doing in the final 6-7 games.
Just to reflect a little bit more on Paddy Madden as well, I know obviously it was his 100th appearance for the club on Friday night. Disappointed, of course, not to score, but in terms of how big of a player has he been since you've been at the club, on and off the pitch, really?
Massively important. Like I say, not just in terms of his goals and his contribution on the pitch, and like I said, off the pitch. He sort of sets a standard or a marker of what me and the staff certainly want us to be. Since we came into the football club, it was about being front foot and being high intensity, and doing that in a fashion that body language wise helps 8, 9, 10,000 people that are supporting us look that or feel that he's working hard, and to be fair, he does it better than most, because again, there are certainly players within the team that visually you'd say, oh, no one works harder than Paddy Madden. They work as hard and harder in some aspects. They don't show it though, and that's like I say, a big teller on what body language can do. And like I say, Paddy's the captain. He's the leader, the organiser in the dressing room, and is massively important to what we do. Like I say, on the pitch, and like, as you said, off the pitch as well.
I know you were at one of the games on Saturday. What did you make of the other results in League Two when you were able to look? Certainly in terms of the teams above you, you probably got the results you were asking for on the Friday night.
Yeah, definitely. Again, if we were picking our result, would go. Based on our results on Friday, then they were the perfect results. I think if you'd have asked Mansfield and the likes what the perfect results would have been over the Friday and the Saturday, they had absolutely got what they wanted. So, yeah, it's left it in the balance in terms of how the table looks, and I'm sure it will remain that way, certainly for over the coming weeks. And as I've said, there will be fluctuations in what that looks like. You've got to remain balanced. It's natural to I suppose go away from that, and if results went in our favour this weekend and we took 6 points, then I'm sure there'd be a feeling that we've given ourselves a really, really good chance. But we've just got to, like I say, we've got to keep pretty consistent with what we're looking at. We have the games left we have to get an amount of points, and hopefully we're able to do that. And if we don't get to the points total we think that we might require, and we still end up in one of the top 3 spots, brilliant. First and foremost, we have to get enough points to make sure we're in them playoff positions and give ourselves some important games at the back end of the season, regardless of in what situation that is.
In terms of this weekend in particular, though, with the double header, I think County fans will know better than most in terms of they won the National League North. This is a weekend where things can change very quickly.
Absolutely, and as I've said prior to this, last season was pretty much that. And the teams that were in and around or level with the teams that were in third, 2 of those teams completely dropped out the playoff picture by the end of the season. So it can be, but again, within that, we've got to remain pretty sort of level. That after this weekend, we'll still have 5 games to go, 15 points up for grabs, and a big opportunity in front of us. But certainly the points we pick up over this weekend, because we're so close to the end, are going to be important. Hopefully that can be as many as possible.
And just looking at Sutton, correct me if I'm wrong, you were in the opposition dugout the day they won promotion back to the Football League. In terms of personnel, in terms of style, they've not really changed much since then, but it's a remarkable job that Matt's done there, really, isn't it? Yeah,
they have a real identity around what they do, and that's not changed from, like you say, from them in the National League. Personnel hasn't changed a great deal. Again, looking at where they are, keeper probably changed. I think keeper went to Reading. Much remains the same. Tanto's here rather than there. David Adjuboy's obviously gone back there on loan, so they're pretty much the same, and have kept that identity around what they do. Don't really hide behind it, or really well organised, really hard working, make the game really difficult for you regardless of whether they play home or away. They've got a really good home record, and speaks volumes of what they do. So you know that you're going to have to deal with certain things, and you're going to have to be very, very good. And like I say, we're not hiding away from that. We know that's the case. But on the flip side of it, I'd hope, and I know Mac, because I obviously was in the National League for a few years when he was managing, he'll be expecting a tough game from us in terms of what we're going to do. So, like I say, we look forward to it. We'll give them the utmost respect in terms of what they've done, and in the seasons they've been in the league, they've been really, really close to getting themselves in them playoffs and competing. I think right at the start of the season, them and ourselves were probably not on great runs, but the stats told you that we were the 2 that were underperforming, and if things carried on the way they were, that both of us would put runs together and get ourselves in the mix, and that's exactly how it's worked out. So they're a good side. Have a way of playing that's really tough to play against, ask you questions, and we've got to make sure we've got the answers to those questions regardless of what we want to do.
And when you look at their final 4 home games that they've got now, after County they play Orient, Northampton, Carlisle, so you feel like they are going to have a big say on that promotion picture, even getting in it amongst themselves. They
are definitely. I think you want to look at this weekend. I think they go to Bradford on Monday. So again, I didn't know their home fixtures after us, but if that's what they've got, then yeah, they do have a big say in terms of not just for themselves, but the effect that it'll have on the rest of the table. So fingers crossed we can go there and take care of stuff and get a positive result at the weekend, and then hopefully they can beat all those other teams that we've just mentioned, and it would be certainly from our perspective and their perspective potentially a win-win.
Dave, appreciate your time. Thank you.
Cheers. Thank you.